Fala pessoal, sejam todos bem-vindos ao meu canal. Eu sou a Rai e galera, estou trazendo aqui pra vocês mais um vídeo de Starfield. Eu espero que vocês estejam gostando da série. Caso ainda não seja inscrito no canal, convido você a entrar e dar uma olhada nos meus vídeos. E se gostar, já se inscreve pra ficar por dentro de mais vídeos de Starfield e de outros jogos também. Então gente, bora logo aqui que eu já estou no ponto. Nós vamos lá na clínica, né? Falamos com a senhorinha lá embaixo, que eu esqueci o nome dela. E agora vamos falar com o Dalton.
All the evidence. It took every resource I had, but the final answer is clear. Ularu is the mole.
I told you Imogen was innocent. It just didn't add up.
Yes. You made the right call.
Ainda bem que eu não matei a bichinha.
I've briefed Masako and discussed our plans on handling this. While we both agree Ularu is guilty, we need irrefutable evidence before presenting this to the board. For now, we lead everyone to believe that Imogen was the mole, and the situation was dealt with.
I see the sense in it, but hasn't Imogen suffered enough? Apparently not.
Ô, parede.
Imogen is a resourceful woman. I have no doubt she's in a safe house of her own design. In fact, she probably sees this as a paid vacation. My guess is she's lounging on a couch somewhere, binging all those movies she hasn't had time to watch. The people we're dealing with will expect nothing less. Masako has tasked Ularu with writing the program to bring down Infinity Ltd. We believe she'll take the chance to incriminate Masako within the program, so this could provide the evidence we're looking for. You will be tasked with the assignment to infiltrate Infinity. So, before you go, I want you to bring that program to me. Good. Once Ularu believes she's properly deflected any suspicion, I have no doubt she'll be bold enough to hide something within whatever program she writes. Now, let's attend a meeting.
Vamos, fio. Olha, tem a minha cadeirinha. Então vamos lá.
We called you all together to discuss a recent security breach. We discovered a mole within the company who leaked vital information about Project Dominion to Infinity Ltd.
You've got to be kidding me.
Nope.
Just don't tell me it's Vina. I think we've all noticed she's not here.
Before you speculate any further, no, it's not Vina. The guilty party is Imogen Salzo, much to my disappointment. Our operative here obtained the evidence to confirm it.
Dalton, how does something like this happen?
Imogen is highly trained. Ularu can even speak.
Ularu.
We demand the best. So that's the threat we deal with.
I may have well-trained operatives, but security is your responsibility, Dalton. This is a huge failing on your part.
I accept the responsibility, but let's not forget, the mole has already been exposed and dealt with.
Of course, thanks to another of my operatives. Watch me.
Imogen's been dealt with, so bickering is pointless. All I care about is reacquiring our property and what this might be costing us financially.
Vina is completing the internal neuroamp prototype as we speak. Our operative will receive the implant, infiltrate Infinity Ltd, and obtain any and all research. I have it on good authority the experimentations they've done to replicate the missing pieces of our work have resulted in fatalities.
I can't imagine the mess their legal department has on their hands.
If I may make a suggestion, we should give this evidence to David at SSNN. It's the best neutral method of releasing this information to the general public.
That'd make my job easier.
David it is, then.
Masako, the internal neuroamp is ready if you want to send down the candidate.
I hope you're ready for this. And that's precisely why I know we can count on you. Vina will be waiting for you in the neuroamp division in R&D. Once you're done, Meet me in my office. Be ready to discuss the details of your next assignment.
Com licença então, minha filha.
Double check those
Eu
measurements.
chego assim, ó. Tar de olhos.
Ah, here's my lucky candidate. I hope you're ready to embark on one amazing journey.
Tô feliz em fazer parte disso, tô curiosa.
Always love a willing subject. Now, just a few details before we begin. Obviously, we'll be putting you under. I'll be making a small incision in the back of your skull where the internal neuroamp will be fitted. The whole procedure should only take 3 to 4 hours with little to no downtime afterwards, provided DeMarcus got everything entered correctly.
Did I not just say I quadruple-checked the numbers?
You know I'm just giving you a hard time. Besides, I've got to make sure my patient is reassured. There's little to no risk, assuming your brain is typical and you don't have any adverse reaction to the anesthesia. First sign of trouble, we back out and start evaluating other candidates.
Então, vamos lá.
We've got, what, 5 PhDs between the two of us?
6, but who's counting?
All I'm saying is that you're in good hands. Now, just lie down on the table once you're ready, and we should be good to go.
Like corporations don't control people enough as is.
Sam, vejo você daqui a pouco.
Let's get this party started.
Pronto.
Well, well, look who's finally up. The operation was a success, obviously. Once you're able to refocus, let me know how you're doing. So, how are you feeling? You look good?
Aparentemente eu estou bem.
That's exactly what we want. Just a couple quick notes before using the internal neuroamp. First, you can only influence one person at a time. And second, the effect is temporary, so be prepared if you use it in a combat situation. Let's just say it varies based on the user. Some
Então, se ele for level mais alto,
others, which would increase the duration.
é possível thumbnail carregando bem na hora da gravação. Ok.
Great. Now let's test this sucker out. DeMarcus has graciously volunteered for science, he says. That's the spirit. DeMarcus loves being hands-on and experiencing things on his own. It's probably why he's the second most published scientist here, after me. Just head up the stairs nearby to the observation deck.
Ok, então vamos até a nossa cobaia. Eu fui cobaia, agora é a vez dele de ser cobaia. Ó, aperte LB para abrir o leitor e mire na pessoa que deseja manipular. Aperte Y para abrir as habilidades sociais e selecione manipulação. Depois de manipular a pessoa, escolha o item para interagir. Aqui, ó. Diplomacia, instigação, intimidação e manipulação são habilidades sociais à sua disposição durante o uso do leitor. Mantenha o cursor sobre o alvo e aperte Y para abrir o seletor de habilidades sociais. Depois escolha. Tá.
Neat trick. With the implications, we should burn the whole place to the ground.
Oh my god, that was incredible! What was it like?
Wow. How to describe it? 1 minute I was excited about seeing how the experiment would go.
Meio bugado isso, né? Mas deu certo.
Moment of disorientation and figured I must have lost my train of thought. It felt eerily natural. And yes, I admit it, just as you predicted.
I knew it! I knew it! I knew it! I can hardly wait to
Ela toda
finish writing my
empolgada.
latest dissertation. And you owe me 100 creds.
I'll be keeping myself under constant surveillance now. I'm curious if any other side effects may manifest.
So, tell me all about it. How did it feel? Any side effects?
Mm-mm.
Yes! Good. Hear that, DeMarcus? That's 2 for 2 now.
I heard. It really was fascinating how all I experienced was a moment of disorientation. It's truly remarkable tech. When it comes to your job, you bet it does. Besides, the neuroamp isn't total control. If a subject's morals or beliefs in something are strong enough, we still see points of failure. That being said, it's been interesting to discover the actions our subjects sanction in their own minds.
Okay. As much as I'd love to go over the details and potential of this amazing piece of technology I created, Masako wants to see you. It sounds like you have an assignment to complete, and DeMarcus and I have a lot of notes to record.
Good, you're here. Now that you've been outfitted with the internal neuroamp, it's time to put that tech to work.
Eu quero ver se vai dar certo na missão, né? Controlar um NPC qualquer é diferente.
To learn exactly why you don't steal from Ryujin Industries. And wish he shall, every day, while he rots away in prison. All right, Yuko has provided a layout of Infinity Ltd. You have 2 options for this assignment. We'll be providing you with the means for both. Option A, you gain entry through their maintenance access on the roof. Option B, we give you an assigned identity and arrange a meeting for you.
Ah, não sei qual pôr, gente. Acho que eu vou escolher quando eu chegar lá.
As you're prepared when the time comes.
Yep.
Now, depending on your preference, you'll either find yourself in the maintenance hallway or the marketing department. From there, you have 3 targets. First,
3 targets.
Drexler's computer, located in his office on the executive floor. Second is Faye Sengsavan's computer, in research and development. And third, you need to obtain the prototype they are working on, also in R&D.
As you can see, you've several floors to traverse, so I hope you're prepared for an adventure.
That's what we're counting on.
Pode deixar.
Now, I had Ularu create a program that you need to run on both Lucas and Faye's computers. I'll let her explain the details.
You see, once we expose Infinity Ltd, all
Traíra.
their data is going to come under intense.
É muito cara de pau.
We only want the public to know about their mercenary hires and unauthorized human trials, but Project Dominion needs to remain confidential. I've created an overseer program that will gather all the evidence we need, and at the same time delete anything relating to Ryujin and the internal neuroamp. Exactly. And what the public doesn't know doesn't hurt them.
Huh. So much for freedom of the press. Or accountability.
If the media were to draw their own conclusions, I'm certain they'd just create a panic among people. Controlling the narrative is of the utmost importance.
I don't know. Maybe some goddamn panic is warranted.
No, we don't want to mess on this one. A body count will only distract from what we're trying to accomplish here. In fact, unless they're a master at being one with the shadows, I'd suggest you leave your friend behind. Lower the risk. Simon Rychek provided some useful info on how to evacuate civilians from the building. I'm sure you remember him from Sidonia. Infinity's maintenance crew is understaffed. It's only a matter of time before pressure gauges go unchecked and they have a massive issue on their hands. Once that pressure becomes too much, every floor in the building is going to suffer from gas leaks, setting off an automated alarm to evacuate the building. Simon was able to get a passcode for you to access their system's computer, so you can force the heating system to fail. My thoughts exactly. We're also issuing you an operative suit. It should help reduce their ability to detect you. These suits are typically reserved for the senior ranks, but we want to reduce as much risk as possible. Please, you're an exception. But
É muito chato, gente.
after you pull off this assignment. Just make sure you follow through on that statement.
Once you've run the Overseer program and obtained the prototype, your final step is to deliver the slate to David Barron at the SSNN field office. If he asks questions, feel free to give him just enough information to pique his interest, but no mention of Ryujin or who you are. SSNN is used to anonymous tips. They'll do whatever verifications they deem necessary on their own to confirm the story. Ularu assured me it's safe.
The Overseer program will purge itself once its primary function is complete. The only thing left on that slate will be proof of Infinity's crimes.
It certainly will, and we'll have front row seats.
Isso aí, filha.
Any final questions before you go?
Quero ir logo.
Good luck, and be sure to report directly back to me when you return.
Here's Simon's passcode, your operative suit, the Overseer program, and your cover identity. Your cover ID card is encoded with roof entry and elevator access, so that's your ticket in, either way. Don't screw this up. Skylar Lumen?
Skylar Lumen. É que não é nem... É uma roupa. O capacete não tem status nenhum. Vou falar com ele aqui.
Do you have the program? With pleasure. So, let's take a look. Aha. The decryptions hit a snag.
Parece...
Definitely
essa
something
palavra.
here. This is exactly what we needed. According to this code, Ularu intended to plant false evidence that would show Masako was working with Lucas. The moment you launched the Overseer program, a series of fabricated communication files would have been uploaded to the Infinity Ltd network. One of them even frames Masako for encouraging Lucas to push for early human trials.
This just keeps getting better and better. Wonder if we're ever gonna be on the wrong end of this snake.
I'm going to copy the necessary files off this slate and issue you a new one. I want to keep this one intact, so Ularu can't dispute it. All right. Now, we finally have the evidence we need to prove Ularu's guilt.
Finally. Taking her down might be the only good that comes out of all of this.
Yes. And had you not brought this program to me in the first place, you would have been the one planting the false evidence. Without that falsified evidence, Ularu is in for a big surprise. I fully expect she'll be eagerly awaiting SSNN's broadcast, anticipating Masako to be accused alongside Lucas Drexler. Here's the new slate with the revised Overseer program. Let's get this assignment finished the right
Vamos, fio. Vamos lá, vamos lá. Use a entrada de acesso pelo terraço. Eu vou tentar por aqui, gente, pra ver qual é que é. Não, não, não. Volta pra ali.
Gas leak detected. Services.
Bom, gente, o caminho tá aqui, ó, então. Deu certo, eu achei que não ia dar. Se ele abre a porta e me deixa à vista aqui. Tá, gente, por enquanto tá dando certo. Vai lá, Fio, vai. Olha, ele está atirando no Sam. What? What? Deixa ele tretando aí, eu vou avançar. Bom, aparentemente eles se acalmaram, porque o Sam chamou a atenção de meio mundo, né? Sério? Não é os... Não, cai não, meu Deus. Gente, eu não sirvo pra ser stealth, sério. Mentira que ela me viu. Ah, ô, isso é errado, hein? Aí é pra ferrar mesmo. Ai, filho, deixa o pessoal em paz e vem logo. Ah, tem outra torreta ali. Susto! Meu Deus do céu! Filho! Nossa, quase que eu infartei agora. Eu ia falar, bom, gente, eu já estraguei todo o stealth mesmo. Caraca. Meu Deus.
Wait, you know that's not ours.
Eu sei que não é meu. Ó, armas a laser causa permanentemente 5% mais de dano crítico. Pega a revistinha. Sam, corre, fio. Pois é que o jogo não tá me mostrando o caminho, né? Eu não luteei nenhum dos corpinhos. Que dor deixar aquele monte de corpinho pra trás. Só que eu fiquei com medo do gás.
It's important that the people of the United Colonies can trust their primary news source. Can I help you?
Can I help you?
Is that so? Spoken like a true tabloid reporter. What's this so-called story about? Corporate greed claims victims once more. And you have evidence to support this claim. Perfect stranger or not, we won't air anything without some sort of hard evidence. I don't suppose you want to tell me how you got this evidence. Of course. I just hope your source is as reliable as you think they are. Is there at least a name I can cite as my source? Why am I not surprised? As long as the evidence is adequate and verifiable, I expect it'll be aired within the hour, if not sooner. Now, if you'll excuse me, I obviously have some work to do.
Então vá, fio. Vai lá.
I believe you were specifically told that we did not want a body count on this.
Fion, desculpa.
If only intent mattered.
Eu não concluí a missão, filha. Fique contente.
And yet here we are.
Ah, é tantas ferramentas.
Attempted to use the internal neuroamp. And yet not useful enough to avoid a body count?
Não, filha, tinha torreta, tinha tudo.
To know the applications are proving themselves.
E o Sam estragou tudo.
Now it's just a waiting game for SSNN to break the news. Once the story airs, we have another board meeting scheduled to decide how to handle Infinity. Go ahead, Maeve.
The SSNN broadcast has started. Shall I patch it through?
Yes, thank you.
Citizens of New Atlantis were shocked today when an unidentified assailant left several dead at the Infinity Ltd building. The murders are believed to be linked to a new investigation where Drexler would have been accused of numerous violations, including murder for hire, unauthorized human trials.
E olha assim não, tu que matou mais da metade.
Authorities representing
Aliás, tu que matou todo mundo, minha irmã nem era letal.
have been dispatched to a consolidated mining station and the clinic. Both locations are believed to hold numerous victims. Drexler's motivation appears to be an attempt to launch a new product based off stolen information from a competitor. The details on the project itself and the competitor have yet to be confirmed. This has been David Barron for SSNN.
Perfect. This exposure puts Infinity right where we want them. The meeting will begin momentarily, but I want you to discuss the options we have with the other members. Infinity's net worth is about to hit rock bottom, so this gives us the opportunity to win a little more public faith. Quite right. The truth is, we'll be making evaluations. We'll shed any employees who don't make the cut, slowly but surely. By incorporating Infinity, we eliminate a competitor, get their best employees and contracts, and all while boosting our public perception.
No good deed goes unpunished by the lot of you.
I'm glad we're on the same page. Which is why I'd like you to talk to the board to convince them this is the right move. There are several who might disagree, and you have the perfect tool to help sway them.
Wow. Already using your little toy against fellow employees. That didn't take long.
Do I need to have your associate escorted out of the building?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I hurt your feelings? Well, it wouldn't be the first time I got kicked out for throwing the truth in someone's face.
If you think I make these decisions lightly, you're sadly mistaken. Besides, maintaining Infinity Ltd is the most beneficial outcome for all sides. I think even you could agree with that.
Sure, I can agree with the outcome, just not the method of getting it. If it's really so beneficial, your board members should recognize that and not even need this kind of persuasion.
Good. You'll find most of the board members in their offices preparing. Vina is also here, waiting for the meeting to start. We'll need at least 50% of the vote to go our way. In the event of a tie, I will make the final decision. I trust you'll get it done.
Bom, outro dia, vamos continuar aqui falar com ela.
Did Masako send you to try and convince me to acquire Infinity Ltd? I think we both know that's not going to work.
Será?
If I wanted to be difficult, I could make this much harder on you. But no, this is more than just some petty ploy. The internal neuroamp gives us the power to crush our competitors, not take them under our wing. This is exactly why Masako's time as CEO is finished. That neuroamp is a breakthrough. It gives us the edge in any situation, so get used to it. Besides, most on the board would agree. So why not use it to seal Infinity's fate? Well, it does make Ryujin look good, and we do gain
Imaginei que ele não fosse gostar.
base, which means higher profits. You're oddly right about this one, Op. I guess you are worth keeping around. As long as everyone has Ryujin's best interests in mind, this should make for an interesting meeting. Maybe not for a lowly operative, but for me, personally, I think it'll be one to remember. Now, if you'll excuse me, I still have a lot of preparations to make.
Hey there. And how's my favorite patient doing? Not seeing any temporal memory flashes or losing time, I hope.
Eu tô bem, né?
That's great. I'd say Project Dominion is ready for legitimate human trials in that case. One step closer to seeing market approval. Genevieve is going to be so excited. So, tell me what you think of the NeuroAmp. I'd be the next Ray DeCaris, my childhood hero and mentor. How amazing would that be? DeMarcus, eat your heart out. Don't tell him I said that. He knows I love and respect him. So the next question is, what will the fate of Infinity Ltd be? Exactly. Not that I want to gloat over it. Maybe just a little. Okay, so DeMarcus and I have really been looking forward to it, so fingers crossed this deal goes through. Well, this has certainly been the most interesting conversation of my day. All we can do now is look forward to the meeting, right?
See you there.
See you in there.
Ok.
This meeting should prove to be very interesting. I assume Masako briefed you on her preferred outcome. Good on you.
That implant needs to be destroyed, and every shred of research put in a nice little pile so we can burn it all up. Just in case you care about my opinion.
If it were up to me, I'd have shut down Project Dominion a long time ago. I knew it was a grave security risk, and look what happened. You read my mind. Let's just hope Masako and the others see it that way. Plus, if we vote to acquire Infinity Ltd, we're about to add a significant workload onto my team. The last thing I want to deal with are any more incidents this new NeuroAmp might cause. Well, the timing could be better, but I don't feel strongly one way or another about the acquisition. We've gone through our fair share in the past, and this one would be no different. If Masako wishes to bring Infinity into the fold, I will not stand against it. I imagine we're looking at months of work. Infinity Ltd is obviously not known for their security. I only hope that Masako and the others will be patient with the process. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some preparations to make. We'll be announcing Ularu's termination of employment at this meeting, so I need to have security ready to escort her off the premises.
Oh?
If only there were more hours in the day. If you need something, make it quick. I'd like to make sure my arguments are solid before this meeting. You heard correct. I've every reason to believe that Infinity Ltd is the Pandora's box of corporations. All right, I could use the entertainment. Tell me why Infinity is a good asset. Definitely a point worth considering. I do pride myself on solid contracts, and this one would be especially challenging. Huh. Well, what do you know? I think you just convinced me.
Nossa, você foi fácil, hein? Eu achei que você ia ser a pior de todas.
Courtroom. Don't even get me started. First off, if I find out you used that device on me, I will tie you up in court on whatever charges I can conjure for the rest of your life.
Enfio no Z.
That tech is one major human rights violation that no legal team wants to fight. I'll do whatever I can to make sure it's either severely delayed or collects dust in storage.
Finally, someone in this whole company is talking sense.
Ô, parede.
Because the external neuroamps are built to help the user on a personal level. They aid in reason, communication, confidence, all things that can make the difference in a person's self-image. And yes, they can be abused. But that's why there are laws regarding improper usage. Well, I'm both glad and surprised to hear the one person who has one say that. Masako is lucky to have you at her disposal, you know? You may be the greatest asset aside from the internal neuroamp, that Ryujin has. This exchange has been surprisingly insightful, but now I really do need to get back to my notes.
Tá bom.
Is Masako checking up on me to make sure I'm on her side? In this business, there's always a side. And right now, I'm backing Masako. We just need to grab Infinity Ltd. While it's got the public's full attention. I'm all about free PR, especially when it's painting us in a good light. Infinity is that sad company in distress with thousands of employees terrified of their futures right now. We are the warm embrace of security coming to rescue them. I'm sure I can squeeze enough goodwill out of this to last us at least a year. All right, I suppose you've earned the right to voice your opinion after everything you've done, qualified or not. So let's hear it. The possible backlash on tech like this is not lost on me. However, the internal neuroamp will define the next era of tech. With Ryujin at the forefront, it's not an opportunity you just walk away from. Not when you word it like that, but a product that can settle disputes or help broaden someone's point of view? Then you really have something that consumers will buy into. Well, it seems your talents really do stretch beyond just being an operative. Good talk. Maybe I'll even consult you on future endeavors.
You operatives really will wear anything. Just the person I wanted to see. I want to get all the details locked down for this meeting, and I believe you to be one of the best sources available. An efficient exchange, then. You've had the chance to encounter members of Infinity Ltd. Throughout your assignments here. Do you think they're worth redemption? And why? Saving the jobs of thousands is altruistic, which is not a luxury corporations have. It's a financial burden. It would be a huge undertaking on my part. That is a plea more well spent on Genevieve or Alexis. I prefer to focus on the numbers and leave emotions out of my decision-making. Your disdain is noted. And perhaps you thought I'd care because you're hopeful. Next question. What is your opinion on how Masako handled the mole situation? Any insight into what made it successful? I agree. Should Masako had informed us too early...
Gente, ele é muito difícil.
I appreciate the insight. I suppose I should ask if there's anything I can do for you, considering how helpful you've been. It's the next big step for Ryujin Industries. Financially, it'll keep us secure for years to come. There's no doubt it's our future. It's only dangerous to those who can't afford one, hence the added motivation that will bolster sales. It's possible, but with Alexis and Genevieve driving the restrictions and presentation of such a product, it's also highly unlikely. This has been rather enlightening for me. I appreciate the time.
Tô tentando fazer as escolhas mais corretas.
All right, everyone. As you all know, we've successfully exposed Infinity Ltd.'s botched human trials and murder for hire through SSNN. The public is demanding their leadership, namely Lucas Drexler, face trial, and he's probably writing his resignation as we speak. Ryujin will be launching a statement, but I believe now is the perfect time to acquire Infinity Ltd.
Believe it or not, I agree. The acquisition has risks, and it's going to create a lot of work for all of us. But the overall payoff will be worth it.
Legal ramifications are a certainty, but the benefits far outweigh the disadvantages.
Arguments?
Infinity Ltd. Could be the Pandora's box of financial and legal risks. I simply cannot support an acquisition.
I think what we're all overlooking is what led us to this situation to begin with. Yes, our security was compromised. But considering Dalton was hired by Masako, the issue obviously starts at the top. In fact, I propose that Masako be removed from CEO altogether.
Ularu, this isn't a line you want to cross.
And considering you're the mole, if anyone's going to be removed from power,
Toma.
it's going to be you.
Hold up. Are you saying you lied to us?
Dalton, the last meeting we had, you distinctly said Imogene was the mole, and she'd been dealt with.
Do you even have any proof to back up this outrageous claim?
Of course we do. The malicious code you hid on this slate to upload incriminating evidence against Masako onto Lucas Drexler's computer.
To put it bluntly, Ularu, you're fired.
Toma.
Hold you in your office until a proper exit interview can be done.
This isn't right. I should at least have the opportunity to resign.
And allow you to still be marketable to a competitor? I don't think so. This may be news to me, and I will be reviewing the evidence closely. But this isn't something you just get to walk away from.
Security, escort Miss Chen to her office and see that she stays put.
You'll regret this. All of you.
I believe the only regret would be trusting you to begin with.
All right, back to business. All in favor of acquiring Infinity Ltd?
Aye.
All against?
Nay.
Good.
Só
Alexis, start drawing up the necessary documentation. Anyone have anything else they'd like to bring up? Any other matters to bring forth? None? This concludes our order of business for today.
So much work to do.
I hope you're enjoying
So,
your new neuro.
Infinity Ltd learned a lesson the hard way, and we exposed the traitor among us. You've proven yourself to be quite the asset here at Ryujin.
fiz o melhor que eu pude.
Of course. But these particular assignments required a certain secrecy that most do not. I truly appreciate the work you put into exposing Ularu. No operative has ever had to investigate our own to the extent that you did. I can imagine it may have been a lot of pressure, considering you were fairly new at the time.
Isn't that what every new assistant does? But seriously, taking Lau...
Sam, por que você fica sempre na espreita?
My thought exactly. Imogene's instincts were right about you. Now, as promised, I have your bonus. I hope you'll find it appropriate for all you've done. And I'm promoting you to senior operative. You've more than earned it. It's well deserved. As for the details, I think someone back on the operations floor would prefer to explain those to you.
5.000 mais 8.400. Nível Executivo. Conclua nível executivo.
You've certainly shaken things up around here. I still can't believe Ularu tried to frame me. An obvious misjudgment on my part. But now that's all in the past. It's time to get back to your typical day-to-day. And I'd say it's good to be back if I hadn't returned to a mountain of paperwork. Now, since you were new, you've been dealing with people, but most of our assignments are generated on the mission board. The board holds any available assignments that our techs have pieced together, and I've approved. Questions? Good. The mission board is generally self-explanatory anyway. With your
Nossa, nenhuma obrigada?
office, so whenever you're ready, you can find your own personal mission board inside. And the best perk of them all, you're free to make your own hours. Oh, and congratulations, of course. You certainly will. Go check out the board, and if you have any questions, I suppose I can start up an open door policy, just for you.
Consulte o painel de missões. Ah, ele marcou do nada outra missão pra mim, eu não sei porquê, né, mas... Tá aqui, gente, o painel de missão. Tem mais umas missões aqui, ó. E vou pegar. Deixa comigo, né? E aqui fica a nossa sala né? Aqui as coisas não são consideradas roubos porque é nosso, ó. Pode pegar tudo, tem remédio, tem isso aqui. Pessoal, mas eu vou encerrar esse vídeo por aqui, né? Nós conseguimos finalmente terminar a missão da Ryujin, né? Concluímos as quests, todas as quests deles. O que eu achei até legalzinho, assim, não é a minha preferida até agora das facções, mas até que é legalzinha. Me rendeu uma sala de escritório. Mas eu vou encerrar esse vídeo por aqui, né? Eu espero que vocês estejam gostando da série de Starfield. Avaliem o vídeo, comentem, deem dicas, porque isso é sempre bem-vindo. Se você ainda não é inscrito no canal, convido você a entrar e dar uma olhada nos meus vídeos e se gostar já se inscreve para ficar por dentro de mais vídeos de Starfield e de outros jogos também. Então pessoal, obrigada por assistir, até um próximo vídeo, valeu e falou! Broken hearts and starting fights, turning truth to lies.